Dr. Jerry Pence, General Superintendent of the Wesleyan Church. Dr. Pence, how many general conferences does this make for you?
Oh man, you're asking me to remember too far back. So I'd have to count, and I don't know if I have that many fingers and toes.
How many positions have you held within the Wesleyan Church?
Well, I've been a pastor and director of church growth in the Evangelism and Church Growth Department. Had the privilege of serving as district superintendent for the Penn Jersey district, and then was called back to headquarters as director of evangelism and church growth, after which I was called to serve as general superintendent.
Wow. You've been general superintendent for how long?
It's been 7 years, 7 wonderful years.
What are some of the highlights? What stands out to you, some of the highlights?
Oh my, as you think about our church, it's just a fabulous opportunity to serve Christ. And the privilege of seeing us become a more diverse denomination in terms of our ethnic congregations, enabling us to be more missional in our commitment to fulfilling the Great Commission and the spirit of the Great Commandment has been a wonderful highlight. Seeing events like the gathering for our pastors and spouses, and thousands respond with their enthusiasm for being part of a denomination like this that spreads hope and holiness, that's been a real highlight. The privilege of seeing our colleges grow and develop as they have, and our districts and our local churches planting new churches, our missions ministries around the world expanding so powerfully and wonderfully, and Wesleyans responding with all the support they give for the various ministries of the church. I don't know that I could make a short list. It's really a long list of things that are a delight to be a part of.
What's the significance, you think, of this particular general conference?
Well, obviously, celebrating where God has brought us. There's so much for us to give thanks for and to rejoice in, but also looking forward to the future. The call of this general conference is for us to become more missional and intentional and accountable for spreading hope and holiness. I think the big things on this agenda are to make sure that everything we do is focused on the reality that people need to know Jesus Christ and become as much like Him before they get to heaven as they can possibly be.
The term help and holiness and hope and holiness, what's the significance of that to you personally and to the church?
Well, I tell people that hope is spelled J-E-S-U-S, and that holiness is simply becoming more like Him. And the joy of being a Wesleyan is that we have this optimistic faith. We are confident that the grace of God can not only forgive our sins, but transform our lives, enable us to live a Christ-like life. And that powerful message of hope and holiness is, what it means to me is we're making Jesus known in this world.
What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future. I'm looking forward as a general superintendent to getting back on the front lines of ministry in the church. And my wife Colleen and I are going to be moving to Brooksville, Florida to pastor a wonderful congregation there that has a new outlook on its future. It's one of our historic congregations. Its name is known far and wide across the Wesleyan Church, associated frankly with a retirement village for Wesleyan ministers and missionaries and Wesleyan laypersons. But it's much, much more than that. It's a wonderfully rich and diverse congregation that has relocated into a new building right on the major thoroughfare through Hernando County in that part of Florida, just north of Tampa. The beautiful building is the first thing you see when you come to town. And our commitment as we work together as a pastor and people in that local church are to transform it from the church it is, not by subtracting, but by addition, by planting a church within the church, by planting a church that's going to reach that community in a new and fresh way with the gospel of Jesus Christ, spreading hope and holiness right there in Hernando County and beyond.
So you're right back at your roots.
Right back at my roots. I'm going to be called to that local church to do what I've been talking about as a general superintendent, to renewing and revitalizing existing churches and planting and mothering new churches, and to be a part of a congregation that has that in their heart. To do that right now is such an exciting privilege and opportunity. I'm looking forward to being back on the front lines of ministry in pastoral service.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.